As stated in the previous audio video, a central feature of the new application is an electronic dashboard that enables the viewer to assess the disposition of incoming purchase orders, place orders on hold or cancel orders, and zoom to transaction detail from Williams-Sonoma, or zoom to sales orders created from the incoming purchase orders. This window is also the primary control for using the new application. Let's open the dashboard by selecting the hyperlink titled Open EDI Dashboard in the folder named WSI EDI. The dashboard contains three control buttons: a button to open the WSI FTP Processing window, a button to create sales orders, and a button to print packing slips. The dashboard also contains a scroll window listing the pertinent information from the header records of inbound purchase orders. The purchase order numbers are listed along with the dates and times that the purchase orders were imported into the WSI FTP Processing application. Columns listing the transaction state and transaction status are shown for each purchase order. In this example, sales orders have been created for these 4 purchase orders. Products for 2 of the 4 purchase orders have been fully shipped, so the next action to be taken is to send an electronic shipping notification to Williams-Sonoma. The system detects when an order is shipped by checking the tracking number records for the sales orders and looking for tracking numbers starting with the characters 1Z as shown here. The products for the remaining 2 purchase orders are awaiting shipment, so the next action is to ship the goods. The dashboard also includes features that enable you to zoom to more detail from the inbound transactions for each purchase order. To view more detail, simply check the purchase order of your choice and select the hyperlink titled WSI Order Number. A separate window opens displaying 5 scroll windows containing information from the various purchase order transaction records that accompany the purchase order header detail listed in the previous window. Information from the following record types is shown: customer address, item line, purchase order line detail, PZ detail, and line charges. Select the hyperlink titled Sales Order to view those purchase orders with corresponding sales orders created in Dynamics GP. The dashboard contains everything we need to complete the supply chain cycle, from importing the inbound purchase orders to transmitting outbound invoices. Let's walk through the supply chain cycle, starting with the import of inbound purchase orders. Select the button titled Open WSI FTP Processing. A second window opens select the button titled Get Purchase Orders in the second window. A File Dialogs window is displayed pointing to the directory containing files of inbound purchase orders. These files are stored in this directory by the Williams-Sonoma Pottery Barn supply chain system. Highlight the purchase orders you wish to import by selecting the file name. Press and hold the Shift button on your keyboard to select multiple purchase order files. Then select the Open button to import the files. The secondary windows are closed and the dashboard is populated with purchase order header information from the imported records. Information is also populated in the scroll windows containing the detail. Note that the purchase order header records are stored in date sequence, descending from the most recent dates of the imported transactions. Notice that the state and status of the inbound purchase orders are new and received respectively. And the next action to be taken is to send acknowledgments back to Williams-Sonoma confirming receipt of the inbound purchase orders. Let's send the acknowledgments for the purchase orders we just received. To send acknowledgments, open the WSI FTP Processing window and select the button titled Create PO Acknowledgments. Notice that the status for these records has changed from received to acknowledged, and the next action is to create orders. When the button control to send acknowledgments is selected, a file containing acknowledgment information is created and stored in a secured directory accessible to the Williams-Sonoma Pottery Barn supply chain system. Let's take a look at where the file is stored. The next action is to create sales orders. Complete this task by simply selecting the button titled Create Sales Orders. Notice that the status for these records has changed from acknowledged to posted, and the next action is to ship the goods. Shipping the goods is the only action that occurs outside of the dashboard. So the dashboard determines whether the goods for an order have been shipped by checking the tracking number records of the sales orders. Sales orders with a status of posted containing at least one tracking number starting with the characters 1Z have their statuses changed to fully shipped, and the next action is to send shipping notices. The rules and processes for partial shipments are outside of the scope of this training video. Open the FTP Processing window and select the button titled Create PO Shipment Notices. Notice that the status for these records has changed from Send Notice to Notified, and the next action is to send invoices. Also note that you can control the next action to be taken for individual purchase orders by clicking on the Next Action data element. In this example, future actions are delayed by clicking on the Next Action data element for a particular purchase order by changing the status to Hold. Open the FTP Processing window and select the button titled Create PO Invoices. Notice that the status for these records has changed from Notified to Invoiced, and the next action is to archive the record. Also notice that the status of the purchase order on hold has not changed. Note that a purchase order may be placed on hold at any time during the supply chain lifecycle. Also note that packing slips may be created at any time during the supply chain lifecycle. This concludes the audio-video training. Thank you for your time.